Dishonest scales are an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. When pride comes, then comes shame, but with the humble is wisdom. The integrity of the upright will guide them, but the perversity of the unfaithful will destroy them. Riches do not profit in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death. The righteousness of the blameless will direct his way aright, but the wicked will fall by his own wickedness. The righteousness of the upright will deliver them, but the unfaithful will be caught in their lust. My name's Arthur. Thank you for joining me as we share together these verses from Proverbs chapter 11. The theme of the passage is that righteousness is its own reward. If you do not follow the way of righteousness, then your own wickedness will destroy you. It began with the simple statement, dishonest scales are an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. There are many things that the Lord hates, and we misrepresent God to emphasize one and not the others. Here we're talking about honesty in business, that when we sell a product, that we declare plainly the weight of the product and the price that we're paying for that weight, and don't try and cheat by declaring a rate but not providing the amount that we say we are. I remember quite distinctly a story I heard once, whether it's true or not, who knows, but a baker took the grocer to court, complaining, "This grocer is underselling. When I buy sugar from him, it is less than it should be." The response that the grocer had said, "I sell 1 pound of sugar to him on the basis of his 1 pound loaf of bread. If my 1 pound of sugar is light, it is only because his 1 pound loaf of bread is light. I weigh my sugar on the 1 pound loaf that the baker produces. He sells me a 1 pound loaf, and I give him a matching 1 pound of sugar." The baker himself was shamed. Such cheating God does not like. We need to give the full amount, and then the Lord is delighted with our business. Well, what is it that would cause us to cheat? It is pride. Pride says, I require a full amount from somebody else, but I am special. I don't need to provide the full amount myself. The baker was shamed when it was proven that the pound of sugar that he purchased matched the pound loaf of bread that he sold. Pride comes, then comes shame. But with the humble is wisdom. There's a great deal that is said against pride in the scriptures. And pride is that attitude which says, I know better. I know better than God. I know better than other people. People must do it my way. My way's right. Often with pride comes a sense of wanting to punish those who disagree. I was reminded the other day of Lamech, a great man in the ancient world that we read of in Genesis chapter 4. He was a leader, and he'd been injured by a young man, someone who didn't have much status. And so he killed the young man in response. His attitude was one of pride. I'm important, and because I'm important, this man needs to be punished and put in his place. Now that's completely different from the attitude that the Lord Jesus has, because he was important because he is the Son of God and the Creator of all things, and yet he came as a servant, as one who was not important, and he didn't punish those who rose against him, rather he submitted. God has appointed a day when he will judge, but when pride comes, there's shame, but with the humble is wisdom. It is wise to keep silent about wrongs done against you, rather than to point out every fault that everybody has. And so we have a bracket of 4 verses showing us the consequences of these 2 lifestyles. The proud person who does that which pleases himself, and the humble person who pursues righteousness. who does the right thing, the person who acts with integrity. The integrity of the upright will guide them, but the perversity of the unfaithful will destroy them. There are two ways of life, and if we are unfaithful, we don't keep our word, we twist our words, we use our words to get an advantage for ourselves, that will eventually come back to bite us. But the integrity of the upright gives us wisdom in how we deal. We always speak the truth. We don't have to remember the lies that we told. We just speak what we know is true. And that provides guidance. Truth provides the guidance that we need for life. Riches do not profit in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death. It's usually in chasing after riches that unrighteousness comes in. People become proud because of riches. They seek riches and will cheat to try and get them. But in the day of judgment, you cannot buy your way out. The wrath will spill over. The bullet doesn't recognize whether you are rich or whether you're poor. When it comes, it comes. But righteousness delivers from death. Righteousness means that you do not promote yourself. You have a lower profile. You do that which is right, and you have wisdom about how you're acting, even where you are. So there are many promises in scriptures which says that God will guide the righteous, and righteousness does deliver from death. In the end, when we stand before God, God will judge us by our relationship with him, and our relationship with him is shown by the fruit of our lives. A right relationship with God means that there will be righteousness in our lives. We will choose to do the things that please him. A wrong relationship with God means that there is unfaithfulness in our lives, and the consequence will be either God's wrath or God's blessing. God's wrath to the proud, God's blessing to the humble. Now, the righteousness of the blameless will direct his way aright, but the wicked will fall by his own wickedness. So the wicked person who will seek to take advantage of another, he will fall by his own wickedness. It will all catch up to him. He will be found out. There is nothing hidden that will not be known. Whereas the righteousness of the blameless, there is no fault in him. He is without blame. He walks humbly and without blame before God. And this is the right way to live. The righteousness of the blameless will direct his way aright. We have many choices to make in life, and the choices that we make affect where we are in this world, what our standing is, what our reputation is, and of course what our vulnerabilities are. Every lie is a vulnerability, and our vulnerabilities will catch us out. The righteousness of the upright will deliver them. The integrity of the upright will guide them. The righteousness of the upright will deliver them. But the unfaithful will be caught by their lust. These proverbs were written by Solomon. Solomon's brother Absalom, who sought the throne that Solomon now had, was one who was a proud man, who took judgment to himself, but he was unfaithful. He was not faithful to his father, and he was not faithful to the king, who was his father. He sought to promote himself and draw the people away and to have his father killed. But by his wickedness he fell apart. The righteousness of the upright will deliver them, but the unfaithful will be caught by their lust. Even if it's 20 or 30 years afterwards, the truth will come out, and the proud will be shamed, but the humble will be honoured. When pride comes, then comes shame, but with the humble is wisdom. Dishonest scales are an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight.